If you like my videos, don't forget to follow me on social media to keep up to date with all the latest news regarding my channel and my content. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe below or at the end of the video. Don't forget to check out my brand new Amazon store, filled with recommendations on Blu-rays, DVDs, books, and other media featured in my videos. G'day guys, Dave Lee coming at you once again from down under. We are back at the shops once again. It's been a little while since we've done one of these. We're heading back to JB Hi-Fi. They've got sales on for Australia Day. Another 20% off Blu-rays and DVD sale. And they've got a couple of other little sales going on at the same time that we can stack on top of each other. So it should be pretty good. We're going to check it out. There's a few things I want to pick up, I think. So let's go in, let's check it out and see what we can pick up this week. Okay, we're in JB now. There's a few good deals going on at the moment, of course, and the main one, 20% off Blu-rays and DVDs to celebrate Australia Day, which is fantastic. They did one last week as well, 20% off. They've been doing them so often recently, it's crazy. I didn't want to go crazy on last week's one because I wanted to pick up some stuff this week, because this week we have got, I'm just going to pull a random one out here, 3 for 20, which is awesome because, as you know, they do these awesome sales and then you can stack the 20% off on top of them. So you basically wind up with 3 for 16 bucks. Brings them down to about $5.33 each. Why not? So we're going to have a look around. There's a few things I want to pick up. There's a few other things around here that I've seen that weren't online on the list. So we're just going to have a look through and see what kind of stuff we want to pick up. I think I'm not going to go too crazy, but there's a couple of handfuls of things I want to pick up. So let's have a look. There's quite a few titles in here. I think there was something like 600 titles on the entire list. As you can see, a lot of them are fairly average titles that we got right here, but there's actually some pretty decent stuff in there as well. No idea what that is, but there's some pretty decent titles in here as well. We're gonna pick up a few things. These guys are still sticking around. I'm still saying hold your horses on these and wait a couple of months for that buy one get one free. Still pretty cheap at this point, but you'll get them cheaper. Alright, we got our 2 for 40 deal still on the 4Ks here. I don't think they've really added anything since I last sort of stocked up on these just around Christmas. It's all the same stuff, nothing else really on special. So I want to skip the 4Ks today. I don't want to spend up too much. I really want to just take part in the 3 for 20 deal, 16, whatever it's going to end up being. But yeah, look, no real deals on 4K other than this deal. But again, it's the same deal that's been going on for a couple of months now. A couple of new releases here though. We've got the Dark Tower. I have a feeling that was out last time I'd done a video. We've got It. It is finally out. I want to see that again, but I'm not in a huge rush to see it again. Certainly not at that price. Saw it at the cinemas, really enjoyed that. I might wait for that to come down. I wouldn't mind getting that in the slipcover too. The US has got a really nice slipcover for that, even the UK. So I might think about importing that if I can get it for a decent price at some point. Same goes for this Blade Runner 2049. Dying to get my hands on this one. I still haven't rewatched the original one yet, so I kind of want to do them both back to back. Pretty decent price for this with the 20% off, but again, I kind of want to get a version of this with a slipcover just to sort of match the other one that I've got in that cool box set. I think I might put this down for now and maybe pick up a slipcovered version from the UK or the US at some point when I can get a decent deal on that. Got The Mountain Between Us. This looks like a new release. That seems like a kind of movie that'd be awesome on this format. I have to do a little bit of research into that though. 50 bucks. Regular retail, that's a bit expensive, so I'm going to put that back and think about that for another time when I can get that on special. Thinking of that, Wind River's come out this week as well, or a couple of weeks ago. This looks pretty good. Jeremy Renner, Elizabeth Olsen. I've heard that this is great. Unfortunately not on 4K. I reckon this would be the kind of movie that would just kick ass on 4K. So sadly, no 4K for that here in Australia. I'm not sure if there is one anywhere. I'll have to do some research in that, but Looking forward to seeing that at some point too. Here's another new release too, Battle of the Sexes. That looks pretty cool. Steve Carell, Emma Stone. Don't know too much about that, but I like both of them. Yeah, of course, as I said, we're not buying new releases today, especially at that price. But that's one to put on the list for later, I think. Here's one that's topical. Australia Day. As I said, Australia Day tomorrow, at the time I'm filming this. Gripping Australian drama. I think we'll give that a pass for now too, but Brian Brown's usually pretty good. So yeah, it looks like no 4K for me today, no new releases either. I'm gonna put that back. I think I'm just gonna take part in the 3 for 20. You got a decent pile going on there, old mate Rick, as usual. I've got a little bit of a pile here going on as well. What do you reckon? I realise it's sort of got to the point now where we're sort of scraping the bottom of the barrel, aren't we? There's all these titles that we sort of look at over time and go, oh yeah, it might be alright. We might get it if it's a decent price, like stuff that is like 5 stars on IMDb, 5.5, and think one day, when you get them for $5, that's the time you pick them up. So that's basically what we're doing today, just picking up a few bits and pieces that we haven't picked up over time that we think might be alright, but might not be alright. And so this is the time where you get all that kind of stuff. The stuff you don't want to pay full price for, you don't even want to pay $10 for, you get them for $5. That's when you stock up. I've actually just seen a tub over there, 3 for 20, so we're gonna go rummage through that tub, just check out what they got and just sort of put our last purchases together and then get out of here because it's getting late. So let's go have a look. Here we go, here's our tub right here. We're gonna go scavenge through, see what we can find. Let's do it. Alright, so we've gone through absolutely everything. I've got a nice handful of stuff. He's got a nice handful of stuff. There's a few things here, actually 3 things that they didn't have here, they have online. So I'm actually going to have to go home and place another order online, but that's okay. So luckily there were 3 of them. I struggled to find one last one here, but I've got one and we're going to go home. Let's do it. It's nearly 9 o'clock, so they're about to close. So let's go. Alright, we are done. I got my stash, he got his stash. Right there. We're gonna head home and I'm gonna show off all these discs. We're gonna take a look through what we bought. I'm gonna actually do it in a couple of days' time because I'm busy this weekend. But why am I saying that for? Because in your time, I'm doing it right now. Okay, it's been a couple of days now since we did our, let me sit down. It's been a couple of days now since we've done our JB Hi-Fi haul for the big Australia Day sales that they've been doing. We picked up quite a number of titles actually. We picked up a few handfuls as part of the 3 for $20 range, plus 20% off, which was awesome. So we got a bunch of these movies for about $5, 33 cents each, something like that. Pretty crazy. And as I said during the video itself, a lot of these are sort of titles where it's almost like scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point. Just picking up stuff that we've sort of been looking at for a little while, but didn't really want to spend too much on them. And now that they're down to $5, it's like, alright, may as well just pick them up and check out what they're like, I suppose. Most of them are blind buys. There's a few in here that I have seen, I think. And we're just going to go through more. Let's have a look. So let's start with my pile. We've got 2 bags here. Of course, I picked up a bag full of stuff. Old mate Rick picked up a bag of stuff as well. So let's have a look at my little pile here. So I picked up a pile of 7 movies. So I got 2 handfuls as part of the 3 for 20, and then also got another disc as well that I've sort of been eyeing off over the last couple of weeks. We'll get to that in a minute. First up, let's have a look at what I picked up as part of this deal. High Crimes, Morgan Freeman and Ashley Judd. I'm looking forward to seeing this. This is one that I didn't know was actually on Blu-ray. It looks like it's been out for ages. It doesn't actually have a date on the back when the disc was produced, but I think this one's actually been out for a little while, and I didn't realise. But I love these like 1990s, early 2000s action thriller movies, and Morgan Freeman did quite a few good ones, like Kiss the Girls and Along Came a Spider. Yeah, I think it's going to be good. I usually when these deals come on, what I'll do is as soon as they announce the titles, I'll go through the list. I'll take down like a note of the titles that I want to pick up, and then when I'm in store, I go and look for them. This one actually, when I first looked on the list, it said that no stores had it in stock. It was online only. A few days later, I rechecked the list just to see what they still had or whatever. This one was completely gone from the website, so I lost all hope. This was actually the one that I wanted to get the most out of the whole bunch of stuff. So I was disappointed to see it disappear off the website, but luckily enough, there it was sitting on the shelves at JB Hi-Fi. Had to snatch that one up straight away. There's only one copy of that, I think, so I was very lucky to get that. Next up, we picked up Lost in Space. This is one I never watched, but I always kind of wanted to, just as one of those guilty pleasure things, I suppose. I enjoyed what I saw of the original series. I mean, that's so cheesy, but it's like classic television. This looks like cheese on another level. Really, I want to see this for Matt LeBlanc. I'm a big fan of Friends, and I don't know. I love Joey, so that's a bit of fun. And I've just found out Gary Oldman's in this, and Heather Graham as well. So it should be interesting to at least have a look at. We've got William Hurt in here too. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. I've always just kind of wanted to watch that one, so for $5, why not? Next up, I picked up this one, Bad Lieutenant, starring Harvey Keitel. This is the original version. There's a Nick Cage one, Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans, or something it's called. I don't think it's a sequel. I don't think it's a reboot. I think it was just sort of like a... I don't really know what it was. They never really explained. It was like a story in the same vein as this one, and then they just slapped like the Bad Lieutenant label on it. I don't know how that worked. But this one looks good. It's supposed to be really good. It's got a great rating on IMDb. Something like 7 something. I usually base my purchases on like the IMDb ratings. It gives me a good idea of whether it's a decent movie or not. Usually anything below a 5, I just don't bother picking up. Although I'm sure a few things in here are either on 5 or just above. So that's not saying too much. But yeah, I'm looking forward to checking this one out. Early 1990s with Harvey Keitel. Can't really go too wrong. Looks like just a great, fun action flick. Rated R too, so... it's got to be pretty full on, I suppose, by 90s standards anyway. So that was the first little pile we picked up. $16 all up for all of those. I'm happy with that. Next up, we got another little pile of things here. We picked up this one. This one is one that I should really leave until the next Disney Blu-ray update thing. But I'm going to do it here just for the sake of just showing it as part of this bundle as well. Picked up this one. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's one I've never seen either, and one that I was actually kind of surprised to find out was a Disney release. That it was produced by Touchstone, like completely produced by Touchstone. So for me, that falls under the Disney banner, and we'll go in the Disney collection. And we'll put this in the next Disney update video as well. But look, this is one that when it first came out, I was never really that interested in. Sort of like a science fiction comedy kind of thing. It's just something that never really interested me when it first came out. But looking back at this now, it's got a really decent cast. It's got Martin Freeman, Zooey Deschanel, Sam Rockwell, who's like one of my absolute favourites. Bill Nye is in here, who I love, and Alan Rickman as well. So there's a really great cast there. So I'm looking forward to actually checking that one out now. Haven't seen the original series or read the books or anything like that, so I don't know if it's going to be one of those things that if you're unfamiliar with it, you just don't get. But I'm hoping I'll enjoy that to some extent. Next, we picked up this one. This is one I've sort of been umming and ahhing about for at least like 3 or 4 years now. It's been sitting there for ages, and it's always part of these deals, like 2 for $20. And sometimes I'm just like, I can't justify spending $10 on it. But $5, I'm happy. It's a classic science fiction movie, Logan's Run. I'm not a huge science fiction fan. I mean, my favorite movie of all time is Star Wars, but when it comes to like science fiction as a whole, I'm not huge fan of it. I've been getting into it more recently. I love some of the more modern science fiction stuff like Interstellar and Gravity and those kind of movies, but they're more like sort of spacey. I don't know. I feel like there's a distinction between like something that's incredibly science fiction and something that's more like space fiction. I don't know. But this is one that I just sort of kept putting off. This was released 1 year before the original Star Wars. So for that fact, I just kind of want to check this out and just see another science fiction movie from sort of that era. Just see what it was like before. I don't know. It's just one of those things that I'm kind of keen on checking out. Very young Michael York in this. So I'm looking forward to this anyway. Yeah, it's a classic, by all accounts. A classic of science fiction. So it's one that I just sort of really have to have. And my last one from the 3 for $20 bunch, there was a handful of stuff that I really wanted to pick up, but it just wasn't in store. So I actually struggled. I was struggling for half an hour on a time crunch before the store closed. I need to find another title to pick up, and I couldn't. And then I come across this one. This is one that I've seen sitting there for years and just never really that interested in. But I thought, you know what? Let's do it. Let's give it a shot. Under Siege, Steven Seagal. I don't know, I don't think, to be honest, I've ever really watched a Steven Seagal movie. I'm a huge fan of like 1980s, 1990s action movies. I love them, but there's just something about Steven Seagal, like Jean-Claude Van Damme, Chuck Norris movies. They always felt like they were in a sort of different kind of, just like their own different thing. It's nothing that really interested me, but this one, I looked this up, it's got a decent rating, and alongside Steven Seagal, it's got Gary Busey and Tommy Lee Jones. So that was kind of like the deciding factor. I was like, well, look, if it's got at least Tommy Lee Jones in there, it might be okay. So I picked this one up for $5. I'm happy to at least check out a Steven Seagal movie and just see what it's like. It's described on the back as Die Hard on a Battleship. Can't really go wrong with that for $5. So anyway, we got that. So that there is my haul for the 3 for $20s. As I said, I also picked up one additional title. I finally picked this one up. I've been looking at it for a few weeks. It only came out a few weeks ago. They had tons on shelf when it first came out, like 6 or 7 of them. They only had one today. I'm just getting a little bit nervous that I wasn't... I've been kind of waiting for it to become part of like a 2 for $20 deal, because the distributor, Shock, usually puts their titles in these like 2 for $20 deals. But they've been a little bit... recently there've been a few titles that they've released that sort of just disappeared, like as soon as they were released. Like a couple of weeks after they were released, you couldn't get them. So I was getting a little bit nervous about this. I really wanted to pick it up. It's The Fan! Robert De Niro and Wesley Snipes. This is a movie I watched years ago and loved it. I thought it was fantastic. John Leguizamo and Benicio del Toro in this as well, and Alan Barkin. Look, I love this movie. I thought it was awesome. It might be a bit dated now. It kind of looks like one of those movies that might just be a little bit dated, like mid-90s. By all accounts, I enjoyed this when I first watched it, and I have been wanting to watch it again for years. I was a bit nervous that this one might just sort of disappear, because there's only one left sitting there, and I haven't actually seen it in any of the other JB Hi-Fi stores. I'm sure a few of the other stores have it, but I just got nervous, and while it was 20% off and it was only $12, I was happy to pick it up. So The Fan, right there. Looking forward to watching that one again. We've got another pile of discs here. These are the ones, of course, old mate Rick picked up. These were his little haul here. He picked up 6 titles as well, so he grabbed 2 handfuls. Again, scraping the bottom of the barrel. There's a couple of decent looking ones in here. A couple of ones where we thought, it might be okay. We'll just check them out anyway. So let's have a look at these. We've got Amateur Night with Jason Biggs. Don't know too much about this one. It looks like some strange... It's an outrageous comedy that blings it up and pimps it out. So, yeah, it might be okay. Jason Biggs, American Pie. I love the American Pie movies. I'm not sure if I really ever watched anything else that he was in. Loser. Actually, Loser was really good. This might be okay. So we thought we'd give this a shot. Talking about American Pie, here's another one from the guys that brought you American Pie. It's called Good Kids. We'd never heard of it. We saw it sitting there, part of the deal. Actually had a half-decent rating on IMDb, so we thought, you know what, we might check this out. It's actually got a couple of sort of fairly well-known people in here. Zoe Dutch and Ashley Judd is in this as well, which is kind of strange. I haven't seen her in anything for ages. This is 2015. I thought that might be okay. We picked up this one too. This is one we've sort of been eyeing off as well. Had a half-decent rating, and it's one we've sort of been arming and ahhing about. We pick it up, we put it back every time they do a deal. Now it's down to $5. We thought, let's pick it up. It's one called Posthumous. It stars Jack Houston, Britt Marling. Don't know too much about it, but it looks okay. It looks like one of these sort of indie drama sort of things. It might be okay, so kind of interested in having a look at that one. Posthumous. This one, this is one that we sort of, we had to get it just for the sake of how sort of bad but good it looks. It's an Aussie movie called Save Your Legs. Don't know too much about this one. I do enjoy a good Aussie comedy. Our comedy is just so stupid. Anyone from anywhere else in the world would just not get our comedy, except for maybe the Kiwis, because our humour is very similar. In fact, the Kiwis' sense of humour is a little bit weirder than ours too. But Australian humour is very strange. It's on and off. There's really bad Australian humour, there's great Australian humour, and then there's sort of like a mix between both, which is bad but funny. Then this sort of looks like it fits in with that category. It's got one of my favourite Australian actors in here, Brendan Cowell, as well as Stephen Curry, who's fantastic as well. His movies are usually great. So that gave it a little bit of credence. So we thought, let's pick this one up. Let's check it out. Another decent Aussie comedy movie that might give us a laugh or two. But yeah, looking forward to checking that out. It looks like some sort of cricket movie. I don't know. It should be alright. Another couple here, one called Mindscape. Haven't really heard too much about this one, but it looks okay. We've got Mark Strong in here, Tayla Farmiga. Tayla Farmiga. I don't know how to pronounce their name. It's the younger sister of Vera Farmiga. She was in Bates Motel and that great movie with George Clooney, Up in the Air. Fantastic. And Noah Taylor's in here as well, who's an Aussie. So should be interesting to check that one out. It actually looks pretty cool. It's like a science fiction-y kind of head trip kind of movie. It looks fun. And here's one. This one actually had a really good rating. It's from Danny Boyle. Director Danny Boyle, of course, Trainspotting. It's a bit of a science fiction one as well. This looks good. It's got Chris Evans in it. I think it's one I've just sort of seen there and just never really given a second thought. But, you know, sometimes you pick it up and you actually have a look and you go, actually, that might not be that bad. It's got Cillian Murphy in here as well, and Rose Byrne. So there's quite a few decent names in this. Sunshine. If anyone's seen Sunshine, let me know what this is like, because this looks really good. And I'm excited to look at this. I think I might check this out sooner rather than later. As I said, it's just one that it's been sitting there, and I never thought too much about. It was science fiction. Chris Evans, I guess when this came out, I wouldn't have even, 2007, wouldn't have even known who Chris Evans was outside of maybe the Fantastic Four movies. So one of those ones you look at and go, yeah, I'm not seeing that. But Danny Boyle and a few decent people in this, it looks okay. So we'll check that out. So there we go. There's our little stash here for the JB Hi-Fi 20% off deal for Australia Day. As I said, I've picked up 4 other titles as well. I don't know when they'll come, during the week or something. A couple of them were marked as special order titles, where I had to order them in especially from the distributor. I've been stung with JB Hi-Fi before ordering special order titles, where you order them as part of a deal, and then 2 weeks later they email you back and say, sorry, distributor has no more stock of that, cancel the item, and then I just get a refund and don't get it. So if that happens, I'm not too worried, but I'd prefer to get them. They'll come in a couple of weeks' time probably, and you'll see them in the unboxings. I don't want to talk about too much about what they were just now. Okay, let's talk about them. We had March of the Penguins, which is like a documentary about penguins. It's got narration by Morgan Freeman, won an Academy Award, all that kind of stuff. Apparently it's really great. I'm looking forward to that. We've got another one we picked up called Dead Zone, which stars Christopher Walken, based on a Stephen King movie. Looking forward to seeing that. It was like $25 when it first came out. I was like, I'm absolutely not paying that much. That came down to $5. I was happy to nab that one up straight away. And I picked up one called Keeping Mum, which is a British comedy with Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean, of course. It's got a good rating, one that I've just never seen. Again, I think that was one of the special order ones, so it's not one that I'm likely to see in stores. So I picked that one up. That looked pretty good. And I also picked up one called Point of No Return, starring Bridget Fonda and a couple of others. I think Dermot Mulroney was in there as well. I kind of like some of his stuff. It's like an action movie from like the 1990s, I think. Looks okay. As I said, I enjoy those 1990s action flicks, and it looked pretty decent, had a good rating, so I thought, I'll go for that. So I picked that one up. That was part of the 3 for $20 deal, but it was just as cheap to buy it separately as it would be to get in the deal. It was like $5 on its own anyway, maybe like 20 cents more. So I thought, I'll get those 3 as a bundle, and then I'll get that one as well individually. I had to place two orders and half my shipping cost basically, which is ridiculous. So anyway, that's all the stuff we picked up. Those ones will come in during the week, and it'll be a little bit of a surprise whether we get them all or not, so we'll find out. But yeah, that's the ones we picked up physically. Pretty decent stack of stuff, I think. At that, guys, I'm gonna wrap this one up. Later in the week, make sure to stay tuned on the channel. I have another Blu-ray update video to come. I have been slack. I was busy over December, over Christmas and all of that stuff, so I actually didn't get around to doing a December Blu-ray update. So what we're going to do this week is we're going to do like December, half of January update. I was planning on doing these every month, but it falls apart when you get busy. So we're going to do like a month and a half worth of titles, so stay tuned for that. If you're a first time viewer of my channel and you've liked this video and you'd like to see more videos like this, Blu-ray videos, Blu-ray bargain hauls, Blu-ray collection videos, what are you waiting for? Hit that big old subscribe button at the end of the video. To all my regular viewers out there, thank you once again again for joining me. To absolutely everybody out there, don't forget to hit that like button down below, or is it down that side? I always forget. Because this image here is flipped and I just couldn't be bothered thinking about it. So just hit that like button, it's down there somewhere. And yeah, look, I hope I'll see you all again soon. Until next time though, guys, take care, and I hope you have a wonderful day.